We're live, Mr. Wade.
Good night. Good night to our viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad. Good night to those who support us at home and abroad. Good night to all. Good night to my Belizean brothers and sisters around the world.
Amen.
And welcome once more to our Belizean Affairs show number 211 on this blessed Wednesday. We have come a long way, Leonard, in terms of, you know, um, doing our service to our people and country as true patriot. We are educating the public on matters that we know about,
Yes,
and
sir.
especially that Constitution hour with you, Leonard, on Friday. You know, very,
We
very
try our best to.
educational. So, what the government start out in terms of educating, says that they were educating the nation on knowing their rights, which never happened. And that's something that you have been doing all along. And
We,
you still hold steadfast, and
we
you've
beat
come
them
a
to the
long
draw.
way.
We beat them to the draw, Mr. Wade, and we still
Yes,
hanging in
sir.
there. And then
Yes,
apparently they
sir.
look for wrap up now and give up and give
Yes,
in.
sir. No, the people, a nation, they need to know their rights, Leonard, and they need to know their rights, Leonard, are in bold, embedded in our constitution, right? So that's very important. I know, like something that you take out your back pocket and they tell them that no, that's our law, the land,
Mr.
law,
Wade,
the land.
Mr. Wade,
So
the Prime
yes, sir.
Minister, the Prime Minister tell us in our face the other day that the Constitution is protecting some people that he would like to deal with.
You're so right on that.
Why doesn't he say that the Constitution is protecting him, that we would like to deal with as well?
So
Because
right on that.
we would like for them to straighten up or get out of our way. Instead
So
of violate the
right on that,
Constitution
my
right, left, and
brother.
center. But sorry for interrupting you, sir.
No, my brother, that's another sober reminder for the type of people we are dealing with, Leonard, right? And my people, those words come from his mouth, from
Exactly.
our leader, the leader of this nation. Just listen to the words that guy is saying.
The guy is drunk with
Huh?
power.
There you go. But anyway, Leonard, it's we expect to be joined shortly by our next panelist, senior panelist, Gregory Brackett.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's the one that queue up show and tell, so that they can't say that we haul anything out of our back pocket, Leonard, right? So they may see for their lips the move. Not for we just to say what they say, right?
Uh,
And call it out. That's
Mr.
all we
Chairman,
do.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes,
hope you
sir.
not try to say like, because we put them on saying, the one words what they say and what we criticize them for saying and doing. They do not turn around now and say, well, like AI if you blame. Because like AI, they talk for them.
Yeah,
A bunch of rascals.
my brother, you know, I am so proud of us. I don't care who other whatever else they say, but myself, I am proud of us, me, right? And
So am I,
that's
sir.
right, and that's speak volume, right? So, on that note, as always, we start with our program. Always start with a prayer, and then followed by a reading, because you know we we are children of God, and
Amen.
we know that there is a God.
Amen.
We know that there is a God, and no one can tell us anything different. So we always put him first. So Leonard, can you lead us in a prayer, my brother? Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'll just bow my head for a minute or so. Divine, loving Father, Thou who art the creator of heaven and earth and all that in them are, into thy hands we commend ourselves again, asking that thou would continue to have mercy upon us and our family members, our friends and loved ones, our country of Belize, its people and leadership, and the country of the United States, its people and leadership, and the rest of humanity, loving Father, especially in regards to those people who are being killed and maimed, sometimes unjustifiably so. We pray that thou mayest have mercy upon their souls, and that thou mayest help those people who are hurt to have some sense of reprieve and regain their health. Those who have need of food and clothes and shelter, that thou mayest help to try and provide for them as well. Those who are suffering from hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquake, flooding, and other manner of disasters and pestilence, we pray that thou mayest have mercy upon them as well, too, loving Father. For we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. We pray that thou mayest bless our show, and whatever we say or do, may it accrue to your benefit as well as the well-being and benefit of our country and people of Belize. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that warm prayer, Leonard, especially
You're welcome, sir.
in these days and the world we are living in. No, thank you. I will do a reading, Leonard, from Ezekiel. I'll continue in Ezekiel chapter 14, 1 to 10. It reads, Then certain of the elders of Israel came to me and sat before me, and the word of the Lord came to me, said, Son of man, these men have taken their idols into their hearts and set the stumbling block of their iniquity before their faces. Should I indeed let myself be consulted by them? Therefore, speak to them and say to them, Thus saith the Lord, anyone of the house of Israel who takes his idols into his heart and sets the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and yet comes to the prophet, the Lord, will answer him as he comes with the multitude of his idols. That's that I may lay hold of the hearts of the house of Israel, who are all estranged from me through their idols. Therefore, says, therefore, say to the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, repent and turn away from your idols, and turn away your face from all your abomination. For anyone of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn in Israel, who separates himself from me, taking his idols into his heart, and putting the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and yet comes to a prophet to consult me through him, I, Lord, will answer him myself, and I will set my face against that man. I will make him a sign and a byword, and cut him off from the midst of my people, and you shall know that I am the Lord. And if the prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hands against him, and I will destroy him from the midst of my people of Israel. And they shall bear their punishment, and the punishment of the prophet and the punishment of the inquirer shall be alike, that the house of Israel may no more go astray from me, nor defile themselves any more with all their transgression, but that they may be my people, and I may be their God, declares the Lord God. That's my reading from Ezekiel chapter 14, 1 to 10. Leonard, there's a lot going on in our country, you know, um, more so that, it's been displayed, the attitude by our leaders, people who we elect to protect and serve us, their attitude have been becoming bolder and bolder and bolder, and that no give a damn attitude is being displayed arrogantly, and they think that it's okay. They think that people of this nation is very happy with them because they have the super majority, and they can do whatever, whenever they think of doing, and they will get away with it. Well, they have been getting away with it. So, it's always a sober reminder, for our people to look at these leaders, to look at these people who you entrusted power to, who you entrust your tax dollars to, who you entrust your country to. Look at them, right? And ask yourself, are these people doing right by us, by country? Are they taking good care of our country for your children to enjoy, or for you to enjoy? Are they doing right by you? I ask you, think about it, because I mean, we cannot shun from the publicity, we cannot shun from the news, and we cannot shun from their display of arrogancy. Should they be doing that to us? I ask you, my people. But anyway, I have a little more to say, but I want to see if Leonard have something to say before I take my 15 minutes and say what I have to say, and then we carry on the show. But as always, I ask Leonard, if he has something he want to put forward. Otherwise, from the program itself.
Well, I would like to flag some of the UDP a little bit, if you don't mind, Mr.
I
Sharon.
don't mind, Leonard.
Uh,
And oh, by the way, we were supposed to join by Miss Pitts too, attorney at law. So maybe she will join
I
us
think
a
she's
little
in the
later.
background. Let her on. I see her right now in the background. Just let me
Okay,
make sure I bring her forward. Just bear with me for a second, please.
sure, sure.
Uh, uh, yeah, Sharon? Sharon?
Hello, I am not seeing, so hello.
We could
Yes,
only hear
I
Sharon,
can
but
hear you, but
we cannot see.
Let me,
We
good
hold on
night,
for
good
a
night. Let
second.
me try and come on back.
yeah, lag and off, and then you come
No,
back in.
just let me remove it and then
Just
Yeah,
remove her, please.
okay. So uh, well, uh, if Sharon is going to be on right now with us, then I think I'll defer my original topic to something else. To make sure that we maintain committee on the show and we don't. Um, okay, I think I see two. Uh, I see two of her. Let me see if I add this one back, if it's going to create a problem or not. I still see just an avatar of her. I don't see her. I know she's making an effort to try and come back in, but I only see an avatar.
Apparently, maybe she didn't log out completely, and then she log in again, so she have two log in.
Not yet, not yet at least. I only see one. I'll wait to see if she shows up again, or if I can. Uh, Sharon?
No, not yet.
No, she's not there.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. Go ahead, and then you could log her in after when she comes back in.
add it says add to stage and then mute. Okay, so I won't mute that. It's just an avatar of her.
Yeah.
Mr. Wade,
Yes.
you don't have her
No, I
number or
don't.
anything.
No, I don't know.
Would you care to just
Yes. Yes.
continue your,
Yes.
your
Let me continue.
comment
Let me
afterwards, if you
continue.
don't mind, so I
My
could see if I
people.
try to
Yes,
help
my
you.
people. A nation for the interest of time. We want to bring in Miss Spitz. So, but I will go on with my always a sober reminder. My people. Again, just a sober reminder that we are still in the hurricane season. There's a lot of things
Okay,
happening,
she's gone.
a lot of little disturbance bringing up again. So please be mindful. Take heed, protect yourself, your properties, your loved one, protect your neighbor if you can. Help your neighbor if you can. Because we are not out of the hurricane season yet. So just a sober reminder that you need to take heed. Also, don't forget that COVID is still alive,
Sharon?
and it's COVID is here, right? So
Sharon? Yes. Could you log in back again, please? But we had uh, only an avatar of you when you first logged in. We
be
could hear you clearly, right? But we couldn't see anything else other than just the avatar. So could you just log in back again, if you don't mind? Because I then went ahead and removed you, hoping that you'd be logged in. Okay, she's gone.
so
Let's
yeah.
see whether
So
it works.
so like I say, COVID is still here. Didn't go away. Protect yourself. You know, and people, I ask you to please be mindful again on your highways, especially you motorcycle riders. Too many fatalities. Please be very careful because our highways are deplorable. And don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Too many fatalities. So too many of your loved ones, of our loved ones, have been lost. So please take heed on the highways. And sadly, what our leaders are doing to better off lives and the nation. That's a question.
Yes.
We see.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Okay.
Good
I
night,
made it.
Mr.
Good
Leonard.
night. Good night, Sharon. I was just about to. I was going to through my little sober reminder to my people,
Yes,
but
sir.
I want you to, if you have something to put forward, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And if you have, I will give you that opportunity now to put forward because I will continue after you, you know.
Mhm.
But I'll give you that
Good,
opportunity to introduce yourself and then, put forward to the nation and the world what you would like to put forward. And
Sharon?
your mic is muted there, Miss Spitz.
good night, Belizeans at home and abroad, friends of
Sharon?
Belize, compatriots, fellow men and women. I would just like to say thank God for another week. We continue to trudge along in Belize, even as we enjoy the rain and we wind down to the hopefully the end of the hurricane season, right? With a lot of visit from Raymond Waters, as they call it, rains, but thank God we have been spared the brunt of the hurricane season by way of no actual direct hit
Damage.
or so. So we've been, discommodited. We've been, had to put our rations together, and we've had to prepare some for shelter, and we've had interruption of our schedules and loss in our work time. But thank God, nothing that has put life at risk, and we hope that those affected by the floods take care on the roads and in the villages and even in the city. I beg people, one thing I can't stand, I don't mind walking in the rain. I love rain. Once the thunder and lightning. But I can't take it when water dip on the street, especially dirty water. And wasara, the one thing I not like, and I get about two doors to hit them in the last month. And I they complain, yes, I they complain, I they grumble. You
I don't
ever
know the what.
see
I don't know the what, Miss
when they
Bits. Go
cross
ahead.
the street, right? You look, you
Yeah,
take your
like,
time, you
yeah.
tidy, you step 1 foot forward, the next foot, and you measure, and you gauge everything. And you say vehicle, they come way down so. But when they come close, they want to hail you and splash dirty water upon you. I don't like it, right? But part of life, part of Belizean, you know what? When I will get one good dose, me be bex. But I say, you know what? That's a part of the fun. So I had to laugh, right? Take bad thing make laugh. So for people driving, I just ask, especially for the students, right? Wesley College and certain other institutions, and kids and go with a nice khaki pants or their white uniform press, and people going, to office
Yeah.
and so on, people on bicycles, and it really is a setback, right? When maybe that only me affected. It's a weird. Then the
No,
other thing,
no. I see clearly what you're saying, and I know a lot of people could relate to what you're talking about. It's so sad too. Miss Spence, like you said, if the kids ain't going to school and then they after they in a school wet up and dirty, right? Or either go back home because they get splashed up. It's so sad. It
mm,
happens.
yeah.
And
And
so
I would like to take a little bit of time, unless Mr. Leonard, I think you could take the lead, or if you feel, to just give condolences, even as we pay tribute on the passing. You might have done so already, I imagine, of
Not
no,
yet,
no,
not yet.
no.
We're still waiting for you.
For you, waiting for you to do that.
Nadia Catus, Nadia Fairweather Catus, the lady, Nadia Fairweather Catus, Belizean patriot, and so much more of international ranking. He passed just shy of walking on earth for 100 years, a near centenarian.
Wow.
On the top of
Wow,
my bucket list,
wow,
when you hear
wow.
of who you'd like to sit down in a park or on a bench or on a plane ride next to, apart from, say, Michael Jackson, yes, I admit it, and Martin Luther King, or even Winnie Mandela and Nelson Mandela, perhaps separately. There are some people who you just wish you had the honor of that conversation with, and just the time in the person's or the people's presence. Miss Nadia was a tour de force from her young years in Belize, and she's of that fair weather clan, a group of people of international standard and repute. The finest British Honduras and Belize have produced and presented real old school. And of course, it would go on and on. I refer you all to, there's a documentary on YouTube. Miss Nadia made her home in London in the latter years after leaving British Honduras. She was an educator. A young lady said she was principal one time in Gallon Jog. And in her early 20s, she answered the call and went through Jamaica and then America to England for the war effort. And believe she became a telegrapher and just about many other things. When she had her uh, broadcast, she was one of our first early actress, or perhaps the earliest on international television and radio, and she was an originator of songs, and I believe she was a playwright. She was an activist at home in Belize, from what the elders share with me. She was renowned for her father was actually, I believe, Albert Catus, after which the building was named, but she was of that opposition stalwart patriotic side. And, she wasn't afraid to have a mind of her own and a voice of her own. And it was shared with me that one time she mounted the public rostrum near the Supreme Court. And it was in defense of Belize on the international front and at a local meeting. And if I got it right, she impromptu belted out an original song, which was to the effect, "This land is my land, this land is your land, this land belongs to me and you." And then she spoke. Of course, she was a niece of giants like Henry Fairweather and Uncle Carlton Fairweather. I say Uncle C, anybody who would have been around Honorable Philip Golson understand what those people meant. The men like Dickie Fairweather and so, who were in the war, and these men were, what do you call, they their effort. I think one was an ace pilot, and he used his reading of code under enemy fire to help to save the lives of those who he was leading in the air. And I believe he is interred abroad. But the Fairweather ongoing legacy to Belize is one that I believe that is the best example. I could go on and on. And then Miss Nadia, one of her popular songs, not her original, was Peel Neck Jankro, sit down for a tree top, and this long time girl I never see her. Then she wrote an original while in the White Christmas of London. She was
Wow.
quoted as saying Red and Green Christmas, and it was made popular abroad. And I believe one of her leads in a play had to do with, I believe her character was serenaded with or sang the first time ever I saw your face. She was quite a lady. She saw racism, but she went through that with the elegance that only a British Honduran could do, and the defiance. Coincidental, just a few days away across the pond, whilst Martin Luther King Jr. and others were having their march, she and others were in London with the sympathetic complimentary protest,
Wow.
and she would free of charge, use her music to entertain people on the front. She represented in the
Wow.
British Ex Services League, and she, I believe, helped with programs, countless programs. And the lady was just phenomenal. And I believe
Wow.
that Belize owes a wealth of gratitude. We
Mhm.
as a nation and people have to say thank God for people like Miss
Like,
Media Katus.
me,
She was of the Fairweather clan, and I believe that Mr. Brackett would say, Mr. Brackett, was it Reverend Fairweather and Donald Fairweather? Was her was that her uncle or brother? Uh-huh. They were
Uh,
quite a big family, right?
yeah.
Gerald
Mhm.
Fairweather was a reverend.
The Reverend Gerald
Reverend,
Fairweather.
Gerald,
Reverend
Gerald, not Donald, sorry.
Gerald
I
Fairweather,
Gerald.
think I
Reverend
said
He
Gerald.
was the
Gerald, yes.
first chairman. He was the first chairman of the United Democratic Party for almost 32 months
Yes.
before Mr. Dean Linder had an opportunity to become leader of the party.
And I
Wow.
want say that one of the fair weather traits was loyalty. And I remember Mr. Carlton, right, Mr. Brackett? He, after he served and did what he had to do by way of his profession, vocation, what have you, Mr. Carlton was the right hand, the major domo for Honorable Philip Golson. And the government at some point wanted to formalize Mr. Carlton's Fairweather's position. He was as one aide de camp to Mr. Golson and so much more.
He
And
was, uh, Sharon, he was
yes,
like a plenipotentiary diplomat, someone who worked on behalf of the country, spoke on behalf of the country, defended the
yes,
country in international arenas, and when it came to international affairs, he was always a
yes.
vanguard on the front line.
And it is said that there's a time though when, I guess in his latest years, and somebody sought to say, well, we could give him a stipend or salary for what he was doing. His retort was he didn't want that from government or any certain quarters because his first loyalty was to Honorable Philip Golson. And that was because
Wow.
Golson's first
And his
loyalty
country,
Wow.
and his
was to the
country.
people and country of Belize.
Right.
And I could go on, but these
Wow.
are the traits that these men were made of. And that was the stuff that the British Honduran,
We're lacking that
Nadia,
today.
Yeah.
Vadne Katus was made of.
Well, you know, on my behalf, on behalf of the Belizean Affairs Show, condolences to the family, and may her beautiful soul that contribute so much to this country, may her beautiful soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Thank you,
God bless
Sharon, for such a
the
lovely
family.
presentation and such a
Thank
tribute
you.
at that.
Thank you.
It
With
deserves
this,
it.
I will continue a little, another 5 minutes with my little presentation, and then after, we could feel free to comment on any of the items. So, you know, we talk about the, sober reminder that we are still in the hurricane season, and the splits also talk about that. So I just hope that me ranting about that and Miss Space come and ratify on that, we need to take heed, and we are still in the hurricane season, and any number can play, so we cannot leave our guard down. We need to be, vigilant, right? And I talk about COVID. COVID is still here,
Uh,
alive and well.
Mr.
Need to
Chairman,
protect yourself.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
on
yes,
on the hurricane issue and the criticality of us having not a hurricane yet, but a major storm brewing out in front of us, not too far away, that people need to pay attention, listen to your radio, your TV, listen to, or try and get as much input as possible. Because while this one may not be a massive hurricane in terms of what is projected right now, it is definitely going to be a massive rainmaker. And for that,
wow,
we now know at least that most of our roads are broken up because of the flood and all the
yeah,
traffic that we have.
true on
A lot
that.
of our a lot of our rivers are at the point where they're going to start flowing over the banks pretty soon because of the water that we have had ongoing for quite a while now. And in addition to this particular storm, if it comes in our direction, like I said, I'm hoping it doesn't become a full-fledged hurricane. But because of the size of it, it's going to be throwing water on Belize probably for days and days and days on end, and we may end up with much bigger flood than normal. So, as Mr. Wade was saying, and as Ms. Pitts was saying, Belizeans at home, please seriously take caution, pay attention. You may not have a full-fledged hurricane blowing your roof off or whatever, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be in harm's way. People who are driving need to have some kind of a um, respect for the people who are pedestrians, who are not driving, and whom they will be driving and splashing these waters on, that these people deserve a little better respect from you, the drivers. I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman. I didn't intend to take
Thank
that much
you.
time. I just wanted to remind people about this,
Thank you,
how we get
Leonard.
city
It's
out
just
here
a
right now.
sober reminder to our Belizeans, at home,
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
because, you know, let's not fool ourselves. From time of memorial, we know that Belize City is below sea level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just think about that. You know, it didn't raise anything any inch over from the time of memorial. In fact, it's going. It's had lost some more inches going downwards, right? So just take heed. Um, we see what happened. A little rain in the city. We live in it. We see it. So be mindful. Protect yourself. So no say you don't never know. Right? We live it for time of memorial. The hurricane season there for time of memorial. June to November, June to November. And then, our highways, I talk about our highways, be very mindful. Too many fatalities, especially on these motorbikes, motorcycle, too many
Another one
fatalities.
again.
So my heart goes out to those that have lost loved ones, and be very mindful the kind of roads we have, the kind of highways we have. It's deplorable in my view, because that's the way I see it, because I drive the highway. So it's deplorable, and the ones that are newly built, right? Newly built. So I call on the government, past and present, to be very mindful on how you guys are building these roads, and stop putting on band-aids just to make some money, because we see who suffers in the end. So I stress that point because lately, my people, we are having a lot of accidents, right? Some, you know, caused by the driver, some for whatever reason, but too many, right? More than usual. Until now, I think they want to pass some kind of law now for a motorcycle. And they talk about it. I hear it mentioned. So let's see what they have, what they are planning, right? So on that, I say, and we see, my people, the lies and lies to the nation, right, by our leaders. We see a system that is fighting the very same people that elect them, the very same people. Those are the people that the system is fighting, right? Tooth and nail. Why? We see a government that refuses to do redistricting so that the people can have equal representation. We see a government doing business to profit themselves. We see the port war, right? It's public, and we see the abuse of the people's assets and money, as to $1.76 million right to washcraft immediately, right? Not PUP money, but taxpayers' money with no qualms, no belly gripe, right? So in one day, right? And they're doing that as I am speaking here, squandering the people's money with no accountability, while the teachers suffer, right? Some of the teachers don't get paid for 3, 4 months. For those
It's a
who do not
shame.
know, 3 or 4 months,
Hmm.
the education system, the government owe these teachers money. What happened? They not for eat. They not for pay their mortgage. They not for pay their children's school fee. They not for pay. They not got doctor bill to pay. They not. That's to show you what a considerate government we have. Very considerate,
It's a
right?
criminal
Very,
shame, Mr. Chairman.
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
So, and I mentioned, why I say that is because what they're doing to our people, and what they did directly for Ashcroft with no qualms, right? And that's just a little drop in the bucket what past and present government facilitate this man, right? With no
Hundred,
qualms, while
hundreds
they
of
have
millions.
our people suffering, right? Suffering, and they go through so much baby. They have so much baby just to give a little something. They don't have that with Ashcraft. Go in our little room and they lock up and they talk 15, 20 minutes and Ashcraft come out the laugh. Right? Sad, right? So while the teachers suffer, the sad state of our education system, right? The sad state of our healthcare system, the education system. One little item there, a school in Motomaro, a village that is dear to me, Kaya South, right? The teacher went on national TV and explained the hardship they're having, right? The deplorable condition of the roads for the teachers to get to school, right? No teachers. And you know what the man Fonseca come up and says on an interview? He says, well, um, a reporter asked him, he says, what you say about what are you doing for the school at tomorrow? You see on the news, so on and so on. You say, you know what that man said? Oh, it's only 50 students. He says, it's only 50 students. You see, and they are working on it. You see, and he asked the guy, Julius Espat, to fix the road. How dare that guy? Right? Just the
Mr.
word.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, how much of those children was that minister's children? Or does he not consider himself as the Minister of Education? Those children are his responsibility as per our constitution and us, the people's expectation. I asked that question in the way I did because there's a need for some of these people to realize that we're dealing with human beings and that they deserve better. I'm sorry for interrupting, Mr.
So, Leonard and Miss Spitz and Belizean at home and abroad, I just say these things because I portray blatant injustice, man, to our people. Blatantly injustice. That should be a crime. Should be a crime, right? But we are in Belize, right? The healthcare system, very dear to me. I have worked in three of the biggest hospitals in Los Angeles, right? So I know what I'm talking about, Mr. Health Minister, and I have a license in the nursing department, license in the state of California. So I know what I'm talking about when I say the healthcare system here, deplorable, right? Guys got to be ashamed of yourself.
I can ask you, sorry, sir, if you may have to say in our way, Creole or English, or however, where they happen, if you may have to triage or whatever you want to call it, the healthcare system, you may say you got one leak cold, you got one fresh cold, you got COVID, one deplorable, moribund, dying state. At what stage and degree would you say it is? Would you say that it's, like
Dying.
chronic, acute, beyond recovery, sick, 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 that they have to fix it now? What you that say,
Miss
sir?
Spitz, answer your question, all of the above. Because people have different comprehension, but all of the above, right?
criminal
Now,
negligence.
yes,
I'll
right?
describe
And sadly,
what's happening as criminal negligence because
so
better
what
could be
these
had.
people believe or in their mind, I talk past and present that we poor people not deserve better, man. Poor people not deserve to have good treatment, right? Poor people no deserve to have good medication. Poor people no deserve to have the proper equipment. Poor people no deserve specialty treatment in the hospitals, the public hospitals. That is in every hospital I could say around the world, right? At this hospital in Cedars are about 20 something floor, right? Each floor have all what I'm talking about. Each floor, pretty much. Now, the health minister and the prime minister then gone through having 8 baby and they have before they get a measly CT scan. Man, what is a CT scan?
And they
And the
get the
amount,
money, and
and
they
they
get the money
got
multiple
money
times. Multiple
3
times.
times, and
For
they
the same
come with
item.
different version to the people because the people don't know better. That I can't do that, they don't know better, right? Man, you know, at one point to conduct a surgery, there was not even anesthesia. And I say it broadly in the Western Regional Hospital. I went and bought an outside entity anesthesia so that a surgery could have been performed.
Hmm.
So, do you think I'm happy with that? Do you think that that blow over like one leaf breeze? Because what if that other entity or that other person could not afford to have gone and got that anesthesia? What would have happened?
Hmm.
Right? That's just one item. And we Belizean people are happy with that. Encourages jackals, these people to continue to do unto us, man.
Hmm.
Right? Sad, sad, sad situation. So when I rant and when I talk, Mr. Government, I have proof, right? So you cannot do nothing to me because whatever I say, I could say you did it and see the evidence here. Okay? Sad situation. You're a bunch of mobsters, thief, crooks, and all you're doing it is to the Belizean people, the poor people who use these facilities, like what I'm talking about in the healthcare system, right? These hospitals are in deplorable state across this country. And not lately, I mean lately, a hospital in the south, a newly built hospital. The person went there, and there were nobody in there in this hospital. 2 months ago, that happened. Went to the
Mary,
emergency. Nobody was in the hospital. What a shame. Mr. Brisenio and Mr. Bernard, I call you now. You no got no shame, man. Come on.
wait, wait,
You're
wait, wait, please. When you say nobody, is
nobody,
it
Miss. It's no
grammar? Is it
crowds.
hyperbole? When you say nobody, what you mean? Nobody to visit, nobody to wait because everybody don't get tended to and go back home.
Oh no, Miss. There was no staffing in the hospital. No staffing now. You see, they got all this money to build a triage hospital. I hope that they get staffing for the hospitals that they think they are going to build or they are planning to build, Mr. Brissino, but nobody as per staff. Let me clarify, right? As per staff. So that individual could not have gotten any help at all.
Huh.
Sad, right? Now, I say it's on life support. The state of our security forces, right, in this country, we see it. We see it happening, right? And the constant threat by Guatemala, who are defending us. We see it happen. They continue to do it, right? We are on the worst economy ever in this country as I could remember. Worst economy. But they say it's better, it's good, life is good, and everybody is living good, and everybody they go home with a lot of money in their pocket. That's according to your prime minister, right? On the State of the Union address. He said that, right?
Mr. Chairman, while the
The
Prime Minister was giving,
inflation. He said, go ahead,
sorry,
Leonard. Go ahead.
sorry, sir. While the Prime Minister was giving that speech, I wonder if anybody dared to point out to him how many people was going to bed that very same night without eating any food for that day.
How
Because I
many
don't think
people are
history.
what? Sorry, I'm not hearing too well, Mr. Brackett.
Yeah,
Going to bed without eating.
while the Prime
Oh,
Minister was giving us that speech, I wonder if anybody took the time, anybody in his staff, took the time to appraise him of the fact that that very same night, a lot of Belizeans was going to be going to their bed without anything to eat during the course of that day.
True.
Because the impression is that not too many people believe and understand or know that that is happening in Belize. And that of itself is a travesty. I
True.
yield back, Mr. Chairman. Just
Thank you.
one point I wanted to
And you
point out.
hear them all the time, my people, ravel, past and present. Free education, that's a pitch. Pitch to draw, free education. Mr. Fonseca, I would like for
trick
you to
or treat,
come.
money or sweet. Trick or treat, money or sweet. Trick or treat,
Street.
trick, 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 and no
Amen to that.
treat.
So I would like for you to really be a man with balls and guts and come to the nation and tell them what is free. Is it the pencil, the eraser, the toilet paper, the cleaning equipment that this tell the nation what is free? Because let me tell you something, Mr. Man. Every parent here in this country to register their child needs $180. Okay? 180, Mr. Man. And if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, well, I don't know, I'm a mathematician, right? But you say education is free. Education, that's what you says, Mr. Man. People are tired of that crap, right? Honestly, none of them could come to this nation and be truthful to the nation. All venom, lies, lies, lies. What happened to truth? Afraid of it? Sad reality, right? Now, utilities in this country keeps going up. Which that shouldn't be happening. Inflation. He says we got the best inflation ever, right? High price of basic food item, supermarket, the grocery stores, the vegetables. People live it, or utilities. High price of gasoline, highest in the world. I do my research. Belize have the highest, right? And the highest price gas in the world. And the prostituting of our natural resources, because it's prostituting our natural resources, and all for your financial and political gain, right? Not to benefit the people, right? And the abuse of their office for their personal and political gain, we see. We see the non give a damn of this government, the display of their arrogancy, their actions daily. Our country is going down the wrong path. And who dare to stop these guys? They say that they say it is okay in this country, and they do it. They have the super majority, and nobody dare to stop them, right? And we don't have any opposition in this country. You hear the man say it publicly in the house. He could do whatever, whenever, and however, because there is no opposition, and they can do whatever, right? And whenever they chooses. They have no respect for the rule of law, no respect for the courts, no respect for the Belize Constitution, a constitution that they swore an oath to abide by and to protect. We see what they do to our constitution, right? But we see they are the gross violators, of our constitution, right? And who dare to
Right.
stop these guys, right? In fact, they are looking to change it, and sadly, the people and nation is
So that's
not
it.
their priority. Not their priority. And at the moment, no worry, my people, they not got only in a mind. And the and my people, let not forget the ICJ because it's there. And I ask, when will you open your eyes, my people, and say enough is enough? Right? It's saddened to see the action and behavior of our leaders, past and present, and it is saddened to see our people turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to this corrupted two-party system that has us where we at now, 2024. Don't you think that life should have been better? This country should have been better? So, sad reality. And my people, all I say is that please open your eyes. You deserve better, right? And I call a spade a spade. I have a lot of disturbance. I don't know where it's coming from. But somebody must be trying to say, well, like, Mr. Wade, you talk too much and we do it. So they find a way to bug me. So I have a lot of babbling right now, right? So all I say, my people, open your eyes. May God bless Belize. Miss Pitts, I give you the floor.
What? I listen to you, Mr. Wade.
I don't know.
That we're talking directly to people.
You hearing it too, Leonard?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
very
don't hear Mr.
disturbing.
Brackett that clear sometimes, like sometimes my voice sound low. But I just try listen more keenly.
Okay.
Mr.
Go ahead, Miss
Brackett,
Pitts.
what Mr. Wade rather, what you have been laying out, I think is a clear bucket list. Well, you had tick it off like one teacher did at school. And you say, look on this in our easy way that anybody could understand and they would be able to say, you know what, any Belizean, I dey hear Mr. Wayne, that they affect me, the price of gas, the food, the condition of the country, the hospital, the lack of service, and what it happened with the country overall. Mr. Wade, when I listen to you, it highlights, and it's unfortunately very, very disquieting. Very, very disquieting, right? It put me in a one somber mood, right? You know, sometimes you say, try, you're like a bewildered, you say, no, they don't do this. But yes, then they do it, and then there, they face the brass and bold. But in short, when you show, and I'm saying it by way of emphasis, you mentioned the international front, the ICJ. You mentioned the constitution we're under attack. I know a hurtful and frightening, Mr. Wade. You mentioned that like the people did it. And like to me, like then they sleepwalk. You just a wake up. You
Indifferent.
just a wake up, then they sleepwalk. The government emboldened not care because the people ain't get any so-called super majority and they use it like one stick to block them back. Then people can't afford food. Teachers not to get them pay. So all of them are like domestic violence and abuse in at the worstest form. So they are being beaten into submission. And I want to add this too, whether on an agreement or not, the weed. So people should be vital, asking things. It's a sleepwalk state, right? De-energized. You know, when I used to talk about turning the opiate to the masses, I don't agree that religion is, but I think this now, then they weed people out. And something occurred to me, and it's not just for rhyme, but while the POP, they want free for all, and this government, they want rake and scrape, spree, they spree off the national assets, attack the constitution, the real, really serious scrutiny or procedure to counter check, counteract, check and balance, call into question, put them under scrutiny. The people out there, the opposition, they're ready to play the fool and can't get to their act together. And what we have is overall the government they on free fall while they have pushed this country, the economy, the social well-being, the quality of life, the ability for people eat, and literally the back spread out of people's mouth. This is not about inflation, this is about abject poverty in a Belize, right? Dog, the eat, people suffer right now, and people is stuck in sorrow and in dignity they road. So while in a power free for all, Belize is a country is in free fall. And Belize, Mr. Wade, if you may go to the doctor, the hospital, or you as a healthcare person, may there at admission, in an emergency room, and you may
Surely the hit Leonard, they find a way to inject some kind of noise in our broadcast, right?
yes, but you know what? We can take that as music. They could stretch, they could
Yeah.
scrape,
Control over
they
it.
could make nuisance, but the voice of the people will not be drowned out, and those who want to speak on behalf of the people. I
Yeah.
will say this, that while a lot of people would give up on Belize, there are those who will say no. Belize that for we mother country, Belize that we give we for we lifeblood, we umbilical cord, we navel string barrier, and we not to give up on Belize. And it's time to save our country. Like Mr. Golson said that before we lose it.
Before we lose it.
And if Belize is under siege and under attack, and Belize display all the symptoms right now of a failed state, that not because Belize as a country they failed. We have all the institutions of state, a splendid Westminster style parliamentary constitution with the rule of law. We have people who have intelligence, people who loyal to this country, want to contribute, people who still are of the meritocracy, people who get up and work when they're sick, people who have their shoulder to the wheel, people who have the milk and human kindness, charity, spirituality, and everything else. Belize will not be at the mercy of these people. Belize will prevail. Belize so precious. So if they feel they want to win and Belize want to fail, because these people you have to understand, they figure they could reach some leading a wealth or success as by the way how they measure it, money the common denominator, and to hell with Belize. But you know what? I would say that they have extracted enough, they're not like leeches. So you know what? They are free. Leave by train, plane, car, close their eye and zap themselves somewhere else, right? Whatever they want to do. Whatever is the preferred means. But left Belize alone no. Uno there. Uno that if uno there be respect Belize. Look at the people. You can't move in a Belize without somebody connected by blood, consanguinity, or affinity. The person want the chance. The person want to think, want to deprive of the education, or the position, or the job. If you need the river and swim, education can't save your life. The man who can swim but can't read and write, we have a swimnology, could save on a life. The man where the lookout for or the woman want to meet the hospital might be the lowliest of nurse, Or the doctor won't get the chance and can't even give one decent salary. I am too embarrassed to say what passes for the pretense of a doctor's salary in Belize. Wanna think that joke? These people have no regard for decency. Those people are the ones when you can't get on a plane and go abroad, they want to save on a life. Or because they have decency in a day. They don't want to say blue or red or green or psychedelic color. They will see humanity. When you're looking at the mirror, what do you see? Do you all have a looking glass? It's not your looking glass, please. Uno not see people who are related to uno. Uno not see people with a humanity. God make people, you make Paul, make God make. Uno no understand what it is. Even when uno pass Supreme Court and uno see the clock not the work twice a day, the clock correct. Any clock where the hand stop turn, whether it run out of battery, whine it, or just shake and broke down. At least 2 times a day the clock correct. I know see this government correct for 2 times in the last so many, however many years. Then worse than the broke clock. I know God more to say.
Thank you, Ms. Spitz.
I
Thank
know
you
God
very
more
much.
to say. I am
Thank
praying
you.
for Belize.
My people, that you hear from another person who is living it and seeing it and not afraid to say what she sees and call it how she call it, right? So why can't you do the same out there? Thank you. Go ahead, Leonard. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, Sharon, for such an eloquent presentation of what ails Belize.
Sorry, I'm not hearing, please.
Um, let me check and see if one of our mic
You
is.
could hear me though, right, Miss Spitz? You could hear me?
Yes, sir.
You
I'm
can hear
hearing
me,
you,
but
Mr. Belize.
Leonard is kind of low.
If you are hearing Mr. Leonard and the audience are hearing,
Yeah. Okay,
then
go
please
ahead. Yeah.
don't
I'm
hold back.
hearing. I'm hearing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now I was just checking to see if maybe one of our might have been out, no? But everything seemed to be in good order so far. Anyhow, thank you very much again, like I said, Mr. Chairman, for presenting tonight's topics. And thanks to Ms. Pitts for rendering such a good observation as regards to what ails Belize. It is true that the people that we have at our governance are not interested in governance issues. Otherwise, they'll be doing a lot better than they are currently doing. And the reason why they're not doing as much as they could be doing is because they have no regards, consideration, or respect for us, the Belizean people, or the governance powers of our people, of our country, or the powers of our constitution. Because as we speak, they're trying to eviscerate it. Not that they can't change bits and pieces as they have been doing from 1981 till now. In fact, every time they go to the House, it's about refining some law and trying to get some extra money. But yet, they have the gall to put in motion what they call a Constitutional Reform Commission, named now as PCC, to do the dirty job of eviscerating our Constitution and or getting us, the Belizean people, to cooperate with them to commit sedition because they don't want to be holding the bag. But they want to commit sedition to dispense with our present head of state in order for them to become elected as our future head of state in a Republic of Belize. So they have us running along with them for the ride, but they're the one that's supposed to benefit out of the whole of this process after the hijinks with the Belizean people. I'm saying over and over, Belizean, you need to wake up. Stop sleepwalking. Your patrimony is being dispossessed of from you. And when you do realize, you'll find yourself at the bottom of the barrel, not being able to survive anymore, and even worse than it is currently at 68% poverty. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Leonard. Ms. Spitz, I go
Welcome, sir.
back to you.
Yes. I want to say something, and Mr. Leonard and Mr. Wade, with respect to Belize City. Want to remember the old market, right?
Yes,
And there
yes.
was a travesty
By Big
that
Bridge.
must not happen again. Want to remember when the old market was taken down, right? It killed literally the melting pot and
Commerce.
cultural connectivity to a large degree of Belize City. That market, actually, the building which was put there after was a white elephant. And the architectural, the metal, the pieces of the old building, which would have been an architectural relic, and under the laws with antiquities, 100 years old or more, should have been protected, right? Accounted for, right? I think they may get some notion that they may use it for a craft market or something. Well, I don't know if the alien then come from outer space and gone with that, but not to be seen or heard from ever since. We have our swing bridge, and I purposely say swing bridge, big bridge. The POPs brought in this, they bring a false construct of north side and south side, and it was meant to divide the people of Belize City. As a child and teenager, and I still maintain that what we have with Big Bridge by the mouth at the Belize River, or rather the tributary of the Halova Creek, the river mouth at the estuary at Halova, right? But we still call it the river mouth, right? The bridge has been changed from time to time, but the present swing bridge that we have was a symbol, a metaphor, and a reality of connectivity. If you were on Albert Street and you wanted to go to Whole Redeemer or Vogue's or Angelo's Press or New Road
Police
or
station.
Turton Library from Albert Street, the Orpheus and Augusto Kwande, and even Market, you're
Miss
going
Spitz,
over.
Miss
I
Spitz,
used to go to
Miss Spitz,
um
none of them are there anymore. So we can't continue to say they're there. Because they're not there anymore. That is the point that I
yes,
was going to
sir.
raise. I was going to say that not only the market gone, but almost everything that used to be around that commercial circle where the market and all those other companies were are disappearing.
Well, you see, Mr. Brackett, we have, and I think it was in 1993, I had the honor of sitting around a table at Zericote Street with Honorable Philip Golson, and he was scribing, writing some provisions with respect to preservation of historical buildings. You know, he was large on heritage and preservation.
Yeah.
In short, though, if you're on Albert Street side, and you're going to North Front Street, you're going over. If you're on North Front Street and they come to Albert Street, you're going over. Isn't that beautiful? Connectivity, one
Yeah.
people, one family. If you're deaf on that side, over. The children even used to play a song and a game female on the river on the bank and you jump over and backward. Unity and fun, right? Now I am hearing, and it's disturbing to me, and I don't know if anybody else get it, but they're talking about replacing the swing bridge, and that I think then it says on Japanese firm, etc., etc., and we don't know where the money or the resources or whatever. But the point I'm making, it is being said, if I get it correct, because I like feel like I go into denial, like no, they're not that side here. It look like the technocrats and the engineers, and they only know if the engineer. They say that because the Bell China Bridge no longer swings, and it look like because people scarcely or not use the swing bridge to swing again, then some bridge for replace it when no one swing. What that is leaving out, and I will challenge any engineer, any technocrat to a debate right on top of big bridge, right on top of big bridge. How would you leave out the cultural connectivity and the component? Big bridge, and you see this are the fallacy. When they want to think they talk about tourism, this are not anywhere in the world. This is a Belize that has the legend of the swing bridge, and it is said to be one of the last surviving manual swung in the world. I found an old picture with Sam Hamilton the other day, and to my delight, it was in Fort George, and there was a picture or painting of the swing bridge, and you could make out some of the men swinging it. Big bridge, if you had boats wanting to move back and forth, and even when you have hurricane and stuff, you could go to safer harbor up the river. And some of them old people will tell you what used to happen. If you have emergency, you can move out, and you can still preserve it that if you needed to bring commerce. But in addition, you don't have to go invent something for cultural tourism, eco-cultural tourism. If that may me, Sharon Pitts, and you ask me my advice, and I dare say it look like only me this to run through my brains, why me must fry my brains when then they get paid? I know Japanese firm of architect will veto my right to say, as a Belizean born and grown, swing bridge for swing, that's why it is swing bridge. On the why you in a Creole? In swinging swing bridge, or keeping a mechanism with a manualized swung bridge, even if you want to put backup electronics or whatever, but me not trust them, because if they can't get that thing to let out the water, it look like they don't know if that like one car to run for one tire, right? Then just don't know how to do it. So use the KISS approach. Keep it simple and straightforward. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, right? My point is, keep a swing bridge, the Halover River mouth, in keeping with our culture. When you run out of answers, don't go invent sliced bread, right? Keep the swing bridge. When you swing the bridge, whether on demand or otherwise, if there's an emergency, could be one 10-year emergency, you could swing the bridge, right? If for tourism and culture and nostalgia and commerce and connectivity of the people, you can swing that bridge periodically. I see that river mouth, and this is where the leaders perish. When the leaders don't have vision, the people perish. And you have a further perishing of Belize City. I am not exaggerating. This is not hyperbole. Picture this. Make the bridge swing. You see, by somebody even said another thing would have been to keep that and have it as a pedestrian crossing, and do a little further up, just right next to it, a new bridge, right? But my point is, with a swing bridge in place, you can, what I see for Belize City is you have artists and artisans right along there, mom and pop, and the mayor, the talk, fool about franchise, God forbid. How a franchise, series of foreign franchise, one model for commerce in Belize City. Any fool know. You don't have to graduate from high-fi sensor standard 4 to know that mom and pop, self-made people. The man with the bicycle cart or snow cones, the ice cream vendor, the artist, the barbecue man, the man where they put a pot of cow foot soup, the knock and stand up vendors, the one that where I start to they play guitar or beats on drum or entertainment, natural jokesters and comedians. Every Belizean,
Miss
every
Spitz,
Creole walking stage
Miss
show.
Spitz, a second. And give
They
you
push them out. They push
take
them
two
out of
minutes,
cities.
Miss Spitz. 2 more minutes there, Miss Spitz, for your closing. Give us a closing there, Miss
I
Spitz,
will
and I
finish
go
in
to.
a 60 seconds.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
I want take 2 minutes, and then you give me a closing, Miss Spitz. I give you
What
two
you
minutes.
have is that for tourism that will grow. You plant back the seeds, it's natural. Follow the heritage and culture. You have your answer. No fake or artificial engineered Belize tourism or growth picture. When the leaders run out and some reach back and pull forward. Same time with the canal side. We had Humpback Bridge, Hongyard Bridge, and other bridge. Some fool decide to put, and I know disrespectful, but some fool program decide to put cement building with a meat shop or a restaurant over one of the canal and then think they straddle the canal. When you had the Humpback Bridge, commerce, farmers come in when harvest like right now, the church you may buy sugar cane, super, golden plum, plus Shaboon. And we don't have to be Venice in Europe or the foreign part of the world. We should have flat pan and dory. You could bring people along the canals of Belize. And our elder when 90 suggested that to me. And when I mentioned one of the University of Technology, train planners, professionals with experience. Wonderfully, I bowed out and condescended to say, we never think about that. Well, we don't think about it for walk back. Bring back we humpback bridge our culture. Have market there in Belize City. Swing the bridge. The pit pan and little standlighters can move back and forth. You can have lunch time. We're calling musical concert. Believe said it should be green. Not talk about climate change because then they spout out the hustle money. Like one pimpers paradise when they don't even know what climate change is. If you have to explain it, they stop after 2 minutes. What I am saying is that is the culture and history of a people that the biggest part component the modern day. It's as
Thank you.
old as the ages and our culture. Planning, green
We,
planning, modern
we,
planning. You're not build one bridge with Japanese technology or money. You
uh,
build one bridge with best resources. When technology run out, you know where run out?
I'll yield to you right now,
Brain
Leonard.
power
I'll
and
give you.
God-given talent and
Banana.
intuition.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.
Thank you, Miss Spitz.
yeah.
Thank you. Well said, Miss
Uh,
Spitz. Well said. And who they see these things, who they look at these things. All these people, like you're saying, it's just trying to make a fast buck. They're looking at money. Then they try for reward someone and then good friend reward them, right? On the backs of suffering of the Belizean people. Go ahead,
the
Leonard.
mayor
Take your
was
5 minutes,
talking about trying to
Leonard,
bring. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
for your closing too. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Guys,
The mayor was talking about trying to bring Starbucks into Belize City because he is apparently interested in a Starbucks franchise. So he don't mind Starbucks as a big international company come in and crush the local Belizean coffee houses and other little, entrepreneurs in Belize. So long as he will get his franchise, which means that the Starbucks people, when they come to Belize, they could get the Starbucks, and for their money going to the mayor. So it's all about a hustle. they, they want to put up all these different things, and at the same time they're talking about a new identity. What is it that they can abide the present identity of Belize and Belizeans to the point where they need a new identity that only fosters hustling at the expense and the well-being of the rest of the society for them to get rich, personal gains and aggrandizement. That is not what Belize was supposed to be about. It was supposed to have been about good governance management and increasing the size and the quality of the pie so everybody could get one little taste of it or one little share of it. But these guys, all they do is try to figure out what is the money-making scheme in Belize and how they can get possession of it. Even if somebody else wanted to have it before, they want possession of it because they want to be the one to be making the money. Nobody else is supposed to have an opportunity to make the money or to develop anything that allows them to be free and independent. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Leonard. Ms. Spitz, I have a question for you, Ms. Spitz.
For a nice program tonight.
I am not in Belize City, but you are in Belize City, and the time immemorial. Do you think that this so-called modernization of the transit system in Belize City to those electric buses, I will tell you what I think is just a big hustle for the mayor and that entity, right? But let me hear give me a minute on what you think about.
Barbados has 30 or so electric buses. It's an international program. But the hustle with the mayor or the municipality is that then they get into our transport system was traditionally individualized, right? And the municipality should not be getting into the business of that. And if you say, you see the problem of the electric bus, the problem that tell the prime minister carry down the price of gas and your government to carry down the price of gas. Believe City, if you bring electric bus, right? And why you want to carry up the bus fare for $1 to $3? That's a junko economic. That's a chance in the Belize people again, and the cars will look away. The outcome is not about modernization. It's about you need to have, you're bringing meters so the people know a park downtown will be dying out, the businesses and so on, right? But what then they do, then they hopscotch. Remember I tell you then they play snake and ladders and hopscotch. So the 5 stars hotel will be coming soon. But they want to frustrate the Belizeans out of Belize, rake and scrape and raid and sell off their property, right? Instead of security attendant the opposite way. Right there for the face of Belize. Where else you have a city in the world like a backway sea from the Delta, fertile Delta? Belize is the most fertile land in this country. All Belize neatest. Belize history, fantastic. And Belize City, I will say to anybody, is a true cultural, commercial capital. All Belize City, the heartstring. And what they are doing is trying to kill off Belize City. One repeat a 1961 post at it when somebody declared Belize City was a dying city to abandon it. But they don't want the people here. They want the city, and the 5-star hotels will come. All the so-called places such George Street, West Street, Blue Street, in other countries, they boast when they are 5 minutes driving distance from the sea. The price of the value of the land, only Mr. Leonard Brackett, who is sitting here with us, I ever saw, came with a gift of a plan for Belize City. And I think, Mr. Leonard, I would want to beg you, make you spend one of the program and you go over that because you know want to say, well, you may give it as a gift when 2007, Mr. Brackett, so now we have to look and say what you may offer and say come back with this. So Mr. Wade, what I'm saying, right? Belize City is the creme de la creme. That is sugar plum of the country. And I'll tell you what, they want to kill off Belize City make it look like a template place where you're going to find these franchises and our hustle. And then it tax the people out, the businesses they get taxed out, and when they are do they want start to Belize City should be a green city as it was in the past where you could walk, you could stroll, you could go to parks, you could eat watermelon for a full show. You're not afraid, you could walk your dog, you look after your neighbor. When the lamppost go on 650 go in, but we need to bring back theaters and
Yes.
performing arts along that walk, the whole of Belize City. You should have
But
nightlife, food they cook,
in
you
the
they
interest
smell
of time, Miss
flavors and
Spitz,
aromas of Belize
we
City.
just
What
about
up the tourism for the people of Belize? And that our
Sharon,
thing we want insulate us against crime
wait.
and reverse crime and despair in Belize City.
Thank you, Miss Spitz. We just about out of time. I'll do a 2 minutes. My 2 minutes are closing. You want to say something real quick before I go to my
I'm sorry.
closing?
No, I was just trying to bring to your attention that we are beyond the time, no?
Yeah,
But go
yeah.
ahead,
No,
say
I'm
before,
watching.
as you
Yeah,
said.
just
Go ahead, go
I
ahead,
do.
please.
I have 2 minutes. It's always a pleasure. And very informative program tonight, and everything from the heart, and everything as to how we see it, and everything as how it shouldn't be, and because we see it that way that it shouldn't be that way, and we talk about the way we see that it should be, right? So on that note, Miss Spitz, I always, it's a pleasure to have you always, and you're a true patriot of Belize. I'm not afraid to talk up for your country. Not afraid to call out the ills.
Ask somebody why Subway franchise didn't survive in Belize. Ask somebody who sell the most of sandwich with one least thin piece of meat where you could say you could cook the constellation too.
Um,
Yes.
we're
And
beyond
Leonard,
the
it's
point
always
of
a
timing
pleasure.
right now. Just
It's always a pleasure to be in your company, Leonard. And to our viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad, thank you for your support. And on that note, I want to say good night.
My
Hope that you
apologies.
take away.
we,
Hope you take away.
we just want
Oh,
to say
Miss
good
Spitz,
night to Miss
everything
Rubina,
it's okay. Hope you take
Miss
away
Rubina
from
Forte,
our show
Chairman.
something valuable tonight. Tune in
So,
to us on Friday when Leonard will, have his constitutional hour. Say good night to our
Mr.
people,
Chairman,
both at home and
uh, we,
abroad.
just, we just want to say good night to Mr. To Miss Rubina Forte. We want to say to Mr. Leroy Lisby and Steve Beatty.
It's so sad that
Thanks
they're
for,
interfering with our transmission
yeah,
tonight for some
we have
reason.
to.
So, Miss Pitts
Good night, everyone. God bless
and
you, and
Leonard, I don't know if you know the
we'll
here,
be
it will
back.
have some deep lot of interference in a way.
Trump was abolished by the
Good night.
British.
Yeah, so
To
it's
start
okay.
us communication.
I hope they heard what they wanted to hear. Good night. Go ahead, Leonard.
Yes, sir.